Diamond and Pearl is basically synonymous with legendary Pokemon. When I hear Generation 4, I wonder which legendary Pokemon you're gonna bring up. With the previous generation's remakes creating a whole new atmosphere around legendary Pokemon, it seems like a generation with a large pool of legendaries would be one of the main aspects the Pokemon Company would focus on to create a whole new experience in a game that's a remake. So while the Diamond and Pearl remakes could make a new, slightly changed version of forms to be added into the games and give legendaries and any Pokemon a whole new feel, or add nothing at all, let's focus on what all the legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl could become if the designers decide they need to give Megas to these very deserving legendary Pokemon. Hope you all enjoy the 9 new Mega Evolutions for every legendary Pokemon in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Number 9. Heatran. While it might be at number 9, Heatran is a heavily deserving Pokemon for anything. It lived in its own little mountain alone. It's probably one of the legendary Pokemon you could mistake for mythical. I didn't see a meal cart or a supervisor in Stark Mountain when I went there. I was probably its first visitor ever. Heatran was actually one of my favorite Pokemon to use in battles for its Fire-Steel combination, which was such a cool contrast in types. And a Pokemon that I liked in general, as it was a more humble-looking legendary Pokemon that felt like a good appetizer to the main course of legendaries in its generation. It was the first, and still the only Fire-Steel type as well. Its design is also primed to really let it unleash itself in a fury of Mega Evolution prowess. I think Unleash is the perfect way to describe what a Mega Heatran would look like. Toning up that armor, lava and flame blasting out, making Heatran look like a turtle bursting out of its shell into a more stand-up Pokemon. Fire-Steel as a Mega Evolution basis just sounds great to keep, as you have the concepts of Steel being a more defensive type, keeping a sleek, toned-up armor design, while Fire is this blasting in your face, Charizard is popular, heated battle type of design concept. So with those together, we can make a confident and angry-looking Mega Heatran that's set ablaze from its time training alone in the Stark Mountain, and now can become Iron Man. With fire. Number 8. Reggie Gigas. With the new Reggies being added into Pokemon, and a brand new recreation of Generation 4 being introduced, it feels like there might be something special in the air for Reggie Gigas. Even if there isn't, there definitely needs to be something integrated into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl for this giant statue of a Pokemon. What would be great for the angry giant that lives in this locked away temple of Snow Point City would be a Mega Evolution that makes it look like it doesn't have slow start. Yeah, designs are great and everything, let it Mega Evolve to have some new Reggies added into its design to combine like Transformers, but if we just get rid of that ability, we might be able to use this Pokemon for once. It doesn't have to be super powerful or anything, just usable. Design-wise, I have talked about a leaner but taller Reggie Gigas as a way of making it look more unlocked, like when you brought the 3 bros to the temple in the original games. It is cool how they continued one of the trios from a previous generation into a new generation with their version of a leader. And seeing as it's a pure normal type that also happens to rival one of the main Pokemon in Generation 4 with Arceus, they would go really well together in a sort of clash of normal type titans. It would be great to see Arceus be this magical looking end of the Pokedex Pokemon competing against a more grounded human-like Pokemon that's standing on 2 feet. Keeping a grounded, but not completely slowed down Regigigas would enhance its design in a Mega Evolution and create a wonderful rivalry of the pure normal types that run Sinnoh. Number 7, 6, and 5. The Lake Trio. Mega Evolutions was a way for the Pokemon Company to be like, look, we can evolve legendary Pokemon that look like they could evolve normally, but with this new Acai body cleansing diet form of evolution called Mega Evolutions. The Lake Trio was one of the smallest group of legendary trios that definitely looked like they could get bigger. Before them we had the Titans, before that we had the Beasts, before that we had KFC. And even after Generation 4, you could definitely argue that this group of Pokemon looks to be the most deserving of additional evolution forms. Each one could get older and wiser. Make them all wise sages. Imagine what kind of big brain plays Uxie could make when it ages and grows its own beard. Hell, that's what we'll do for their Megas. We'll just give them all beards. While they are a group of 3, each one has to have their own defining characteristics and personality, as well as things they are good at that make them their own. You don't look at triplets and be like, wow, you're exactly the same person. That would be just rude. Uxie can have a wise, bigger-headed look based on its species of knowledge. A Zelf can become chiller, yet fruitful in its focus on willpower. A Mesprit, Well, as the emotion Pokemon who already dyed its hair pink in an attempt to run away from its midlife crisis, we can just touch up those dreads and give it a look based on talking about feelings more openly. Altogether, that gives each legendary Pokemon from this group their own suitable Mega Evolution that fits them perfectly and evolves the Lake Trio into the bigger body of Water Trio. Number 4. Cresselia. With such a graceful Pokemon, how could it not be one of the top legendary Pokemon to be on the list of possible Mega Evolving Pokemon? Even if this wasn't exclusively focused on Generation 4 Pokemon, it would still be a top pick. It had that loner vibe, wandering around in the grass all by itself, waiting for someone to catch it, which reminds me a lot of my childhood. Luckily, we can move past that, unlike my childhood, and focus on its beautiful design to imagine just what could be. With its serene look and the radiant design it already has, creating a sparkling aura around it and giving it a dreamlike mist could give it a great appeal. I mean, when one of the scariest Pokemon that's designed to be a nightmare is the duo in its group of dreams and nightmares, it would make a lot of sense to make a Mega Cresselia a lot more show-offy so it can light up your night. The Psychic type works well with this concept, and even adding in the Fairy type to its Mega Evolution would work wonders. I mean, if there was a Light type, that would be the perfect fit for Cresselia, but Diet Light will have to do for now. A bipedal angelic looking Cresselia would be a great fit, and the dream just like aura radiating around it would make it a very storied Pokemon. Even creating a quest that isn't just chasing it through the grass would really enhance the love this Pokemon gets, and it would definitely have the look to really lead its own side quest that gets you to the end, catching your eyes upon its angelic Mega Evolution and surprising you as you wonder who's that Pokemon. Number 3, 2 and 1. The Legendary Trio. If one of these 3 Pokemon gets one, the rest have to follow. There's not a chance that the box art legendaries wouldn't be grouped together at the end of the video, but what would really create a full-on new experience for new Pokemon players getting into the games, and a memorable experience at that? Similar to how we talked about the Lake Trio, each of the Pokemon in this trio has their own special traits. Dialga focuses on time, so its Mega Evolution could have a stopwatch in its pocket and a necklace with a clock attached to it for some added drip. Palkia's trait is space, so it needs to go full-on universal. Get into the studios, add some roller coasters, and an in-depth behind-the-scenes experience. And Giratina is all about death. We can just turn into Ash. The main focus I'd want to see in a concept of Mega Evolution for these 3 legendary Pokemon is a better full-on overhaul rather than just the added lines that were really the main addition that the Primal forms had when added onto Groudon and Kyogre. Arming up the Gen 4 legendaries and making a Mega Evolution variant called Armored Evolutions would really fit into the yesteryears of the Legend of Arceus' story about the old days. And as Arceus is a normal type and the color white, they could even have the title of the 3 White Knights. What would really make it even more appealing is having specific realms for each of their Mega Evolutions. While Giratina has the Distortion World, Dialga and Palkia really just have those 2 portals on the Spear Pillar, and I don't think that's fair real estate. A Mega Distortion World, as well as 2 little pockets of differentiated worldviews for the other 2, would really encase the magical appeal these Pokemon all have and create an even more luscious experience that one might not expect in a game that's a beautiful Etch-a-Sketch remake of 2 games from 2006.